Michael's in a delightful mood this morning.
Yeah, it's Sunday, not feeling it really. But we need to do something. It's going to be a nice day for it. Sit darling. So we're going to finish off the vines, get these down because they're just overrunning the place. And we're getting to the point where we can't get in and out of the cabin. So we'll get these tidied up and we're going to clear this shed out. You'll see from the pictures that we've taken, little clips, that it's full of all sorts of bags of wood and tools. I want to get it cleared out, set the ceiling boards down and the little joist. It's all rotten, needs to come down, get some light in there. Clear the floor back to the stone that we've got in the wood store. And then what we want to do is Becky wants to use that over the summer as a bit of a place to go and work in. It's much cooler than the cabin is. So if we can get it clean and tidy and make it presentable and usable space, that will be nice. Once the bags of wood are out there and bits and pieces and tools, there's not actually a lot in there really, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long, but we'll see. As with everything, it'll probably take twice as long as what we think. But we'll see how we get on anyway. Oh, right, okay. Come on. Right. So you do the vines then.
Yeah.
Start with it.
Where's the ladder? Is there anything on my... I don't need them for now, but...
Yeah, I've got it.
Darling, you helping Mummy? Hey? Are you helping? Yeah? Good boy. Can you hold out? Can you get to the stone? Can you get to the stone?
Right, this afternoon's job, or one of them, or part of one of them, or part of the afternoon, whatever, however we get on. Rebuild the end of this wall, ready for putting on the final joist that's going to sit on top of this wall. We've got, I don't know, probably 40 centimetres or so to build up, set the level up, lined it up with the underside of the joist that we've already put in. This is where we need to build up to. Need to keep it fairly flush on this end, on this face, as the rest of it is. I don't know whether it'll be exposed yet or whether we'll render over it, I'm not sure. Probably be exposed, so I want to keep this end looking quite nice. Each side I think we should probably render over, because this wall's not the prettiest really. A lot of small individual pieces, it's going to be very difficult to point, and there's nicer walls to do, so I think the main faces of these walls will probably get rendered over. The end I think we'll probably leave exposed and point. So I need to make this end nice. It needs to be pretty level to marry up with this stone below it, and obviously this big one here. So what I'm going to do to start with, just get rid of this loose mortar, clay, soil, whatever it was. Some of the small bits and pieces. Then I'll mix up some lime mortar, drop it into the gaps of the stone that's existing, and then we'll go next door to my rock store and start building up. So hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Right, so that's got that end all cleared out. We've got kind of one, two, these two here, quite big ones, a little one here which is nicely kind of wedged in. I've just cleared out in between these 3 or 4 stones, so I can drop some mortar in there, and then need to set something onto this corner. And then we're almost at a level to come up then to underneath this big one here. This big stone, it's probably around 1.20 m, sort of 4 foot, 30 centimetres deep, probably about 40-45 wide. It's huge. There's 3 or 4 going, on this side of the wall, going down to the base. Some really big stones. So obviously setting this corner really solid. Don't need to put anything too big in here. We'll maybe try and put a reasonable sized one in this corner if we can find something appropriate. But for the most it should be medium, small size stuff, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll have this built up something right, something like even. So yeah, we'll get some mortar mixed. Right, I've just mixed up a bit of mortar. Didn't mix much up at all. Just want to fill in these holes. Maybe put a bit on this ledge here and then find a stone to put in. So we'll just get this in, see where we are, and then mix a bit more up and get some stone back in this wall. Got my black gloves on. And it's lime based, this it's N8 HL5 I think. So when I filled in the hole on the back wall I didn't use any, and it's quite you know, it irritates your hands really, lime, so we'll use some gloves and, you know, hopefully won't go through as much pain. I want to leave 30-40 mil sort of recess with the lime mortar, for, you know, if we do point it, then we're going to point it with some appropriate coloured mortar. This is quite grey, it's almost cement looking. Doesn't matter, of course, it's not going to be seen, but for the final exposed walls, obviously we want a different colour, you know, sort of a beige colour, I guess, a light beige, something that's appropriate, you know, for the brick, for the stone. So we're leaving a recess so that down the line we can point it up, just in case you were wondering. This is what's going to take the time with this job. It's going next door to my little rock store, you know, picking out pieces that are just going to fit in, look right, you know, trying to get them having a reasonably straight edge, even though a lot of them, you know, the wall itself has got, you know, a lot of undulations, shall we say, imperfections, but so they don't have to be perfect, but, you know, I'd like it to look something like, really. So that's going to sit in there really nicely. Obviously need to mix up a bit more mortar so we can set it, and then backfill it. That's sitting in there really well. And once I've got some mortar in there, I can sit it upright. It's just tipping forwards, it's not level, but that'll sit there nicely. And then we can move this way, really. Just need a bit of mortar on top of it when it's all in there, and then we can come this way and carry on up. But yeah, it's going to take a while selecting the stone and what have you, but it is what it is. Right, going to finish at the end of this wall today, hopefully. Had a few hours yesterday afternoon. I think we've probably got a few hours left, so we should comfortably get it done. He says, famous last words. I'm sure we will. Finding the stones, probably the biggest problem, really. You know, you put a piece in and then there's like an awkward space left. It's trying to kind of preempt, you know, what kind of spaces you leave in, really. You know, kind of thinking one stone ahead, I guess. That kind of, you know, sort of thought process. But anyway, you know, it's all interesting stuff. Quite enjoyed it yesterday. Just mixing up a bit of mortar at a time, because I'm only putting, you know, maybe 1 or 2 stones in, or putting a stone in and then backfilling, you know, some gaps that are left. But it's only taken a couple of minutes to mix it up. It's no great drama. I'd rather do that than, you know, it kind of sort of go off or become sort of pliable. So yeah, we got this corner done first yesterday. You know, put in this vertical piece here. And then these two on the, so that side's done now, and this corner, and then we built up this area here, this other corner, this central piece, 2 or 3 big stones, or decent sized stones in there. I want to try and find a nice big stone to hopefully sit on top of these 3 in this space here. If we could kind of sort of, you know, cross over all 3 pieces, it'd be nice, but we'll see, depends what we've got. Yeah, so nothing more to say really. On that note, we'll carry on, dig out a few more stones, and yeah, see if we can get it done and dusted today, which would be nice. Be a first as well. Right, we've got the end of this wall done to where I want to be. I'll take a few clips of it now so you can see what we've done. It's turned out nice, taken us time, picked out some nice pieces of stone, put it together. You know, it's gone alright, I think. I need to now have a think about how we're going to put the lintels in, the old lintels, not the old ones we took out, some different ones. They're going to be purely aesthetic, purely decorative, because obviously, as I said before, the main structure and load bearing is going to come for two sections of the joist that we've been using. They'll be hidden in the wall, you won't see them. But I've then got to figure out how I can incorporate the sort of decorative lintels that we're going to put in, that we want to put in. It's a little bit fiddly, but what I do know is I don't want to be going up any higher than what we've already gone. I need a platform and a plinth lower than the bottom of the joist where I can drop the end of the lintels onto. So, if you followed that, great. If you didn't, well, yeah, it's probably par for the course, I guess. I do talk a load of drivel. But yeah, I'll take some... you'll probably realise, you know, what I mean when I'm actually doing it. Because to be quite honest with you, I haven't got a clue. I just, you know, keep going forward. Come across a problem or a challenge, work a way around it. Don't like planning. Anyway, I'll take some videos and we'll go and find something else to do now.